Hey everybody, welcome to Hidden Horror. How are you guys doing today? So today I'm here to bring you a little bit of an update on what's going on in the Bryan Kohberger case. We already know that Bryan Kohberger has pled guilty to the murders of all four Idaho 4 victims. That's Kaylee Gonclaves, 21, Madison Mogan, 21, Xana Kernodle, 20, and Ethan Chapin, 20. So in this video, I'm going to talk and focus on Xana Kernodle. Xana Kernodle was a housemaid at 1122 King Road. Her boyfriend was Ethan Chapin, and unfortunately, they all were viciously murdered on November 13th, 2022. And Bryan Kohberger, the prime suspect, recently pled guilty. The problem with him pleading guilty is that he was not required to provide a real factual basis, any details, provide any answers to the victims and their families. So we really have a lot of questions, and there's really in the Kernodle family a mixed opinion of Bryan Kohberger's guilty plea. Some family members are furious. Some family members have accepted this plea. They don't want to go through any more of the difficulties, the challenges, the trauma of Bryan Kohberger being prosecuted. And then some family members, they feel that he didn't provide any details. He pled guilty, but we still don't have any answers. So I'm here today. I'm here to talk about it all relating to the victim, Xana Kernodle, and her family really reacting to Bryan Kohberger's guilty plea. So let's get started. So we already know that Bryan Kohberger pled guilty. In each family, there's four victims. Each family has really reacted, responded to this guilty plea. Some of the various families did not support the guilty plea. For example, Kaylee Gonclave's family, they did not support the guilty plea. They wanted a trial. They wanted Bryan Kohberger to face a jury. They wanted to hear the evidence. And then other families, for example, Ethan Chapin's family, they were okay with the guilty plea. That meant that they would not have to suffer anymore, that they could move forward with their life. They didn't have to worry about seeing any gruesome pictures of the victims. They didn't have to worry about any testimony being subpoenaed to court and other things, right? That impacts the victim's family. So everyone kind of has a mix of feelings, and it's like that in the Kernodle family. So let's talk about it all from the viewpoint of various important people in Xana Kernodle's life, okay? So we're going to start off with an article from TMZ. The article is dated June 30th, 2025. Is by TMZ staff and is titled Bryan Kohberger. Victim's family told prosecutors, don't you dare make a deal. So I want to pull up and share this picture of Xana Kernodle because she is the victim that I'm talking about in this particular video, okay? So let's get started. The family of Xana Kernodle is livid over the plea deal offered to accused murderer Bryan Kohberger, and they told prosecutors they had better not dare go through with it. Kim Kernodle, Xana's aunt, who was so furious she was in tears, tells TMZ prosecutors floated the idea of a plea deal a few days ago, and the family made it clear no way. When we spoke with Kim, she was on a conference call with prosecutors. She says prosecutors told her the defense approached prosecutors with a plea deal, and the prosecution went along to spare the families the pain of a trial. Kim says that's ridiculous because at least two of the families, hers and the Gonclaves family, wanted Kohberger to face a jury. Kim says prosecution Prosecutors were especially concerned that the families would have to see the gruesome crime scene photos of their loved ones, but she says, we know the graphics. They were not trying to spare us. Kim also says when her family got a call from prosecutors a few days ago about a deal, they were vague. Prosecutors never mentioned taking the death penalty off the table. What's especially puzzling, Kim says, prosecutors told her there was enough evidence to secure a guilty verdict. As we reported under the deal, Kohberger will plead guilty to 4 counts of murder, and in return, prosecutors will take the death penalty off the table. Prosecutors will recommend life in prison without the possibility of parole. A hearing is scheduled for Wednesday, and presumably that's when prosecutors and Kohberger will ask the judge to approve the plea deal. Kim says she wants the judge to delay making a decision so the families can figure out their next move. My second article is coming from foxnews.com. So let's see if we can find another picture of Mrs. Kernodle. So beautiful. I think this is like one of my favorite pictures of her. So let's enlarge that. Okay, as we talk about Xana. Okay. It's coming from foxnews.com. It's dated July 11, 2025. It's by Michael Ruiz. It's titled Idaho Murder Victim's Mother Finds Unexpected Peace in Killer's Controversial Plea Deal. Other victims' families divided on agreement that allows Bryan Kohberger to avoid explaining motive. The mother of University of Idaho victim Xana Kernodle has broken her silence about a plea deal for the killer, Bryan Kohberger, who pleaded guilty last week to 4 counts of first-degree murder for killing the 20-year-old, her boyfriend, that would be Ethan Chapin, and 2 other friends in a home invasion attack. So that includes best friends Kaylee Gonclaves, who was 21 years old, and Madison Mogan, who was also 21 years old. I apologize that they did not list their names in the article. At first, I was upset. I felt like I will never get answers now. But now I really see the Lord's hand in it, Cara Northington told Fox News Digital. I now can see that God is protecting us from further torment and trauma. While the plea deal didn't require Kohberger to explain himself, it puts the case to rest, she said. It is truly a blessing, she added. The death penalty would give him the opportunity to appeal and drag this horror story out for the rest of our lives. Northington said she was on a church retreat with no cell service when the deal became official. Prosecutors had approached her a week earlier, she said, but she had not met with them. I am just thankful I had my church family around me to pray for me and that I wasn't back in town, honestly, she said. God had me right where He wanted me to be when I found out the news. Kernodle's birthday would have been Saturday. Her father separately told the New York Times he disagreed with the deal because it didn't require the killer to give any answers. Dad, I agree with you. And I'm going to talk about the questions that I have in a future video, of course, but not now, okay? The other victims were Ethan Chapin, 20, Madison Mogan, 21, and Kaylee Gonclaves, 21. Chapin's family said in a brief statement before the plea hearing that they would attend in support of the deal. Leander James, the attorney for Mogan's mother and stepfather, said outside the court that they support the plea agreement 100%. Mogan's father told CBS News he also supported the deal. We can actually put this behind us and not have these future dates and future things that we don't want to have to be at, that we shouldn't have to be at, that have to do with this terrible person, he told the network. The family of Kelly Gonclaves vocally opposed the deal and asked supporters to phone and email the judge and urge him to reject it. The judge called that an improper attempt to influence the court. At a bare minimum, pleas require a full confession, full accountability, location of the murder weapon, confirmation the defendant acted alone, and the true facts of what happened that night. Her family wrote in a statement posted to Facebook, "We deserve to know when the beginning of the end was." I agree with Kelly Gonclave's father completely. A full confession, full accountability. Where is the weapon? Did you act alone? All of the facts of what happened to all 4 victims. We need the details. We need the answers. So Kohberger was supposed to go to trial next month. Prosecutors had his DNA at the crime scene on the snap of a K-bar knife sheath. They traced his phone around town and said he had repeatedly driven by the victim's home before and after the murders. Surveillance video showed the suspect vehicle speeding away after the murders, and 2 eyewitnesses survived the attack. A roommate who told police she had come within 3 feet of a masked intruder before he inexplicably left the home, and a DoorDash driver who dropped off food for Kernodle just minutes before Kohberger killed her. So now we know that allegedly Dylan Mortensen was within 3 feet of the killer. Wow. This does not make sense to me. Can I think about that right now? But juries can be unpredictable, and even a guilty verdict with or without a death sentence would have faced years of appeals. Under the terms of the deal, Kohberger waived his right to appeal and forfeit his chance to move for a sentence reduction under the Idaho law. Okay. So I couldn't find any recent interviews of Xana Kernodle's family members. I do have, from some past videos that I found on YouTube, some information about a scholarship that was set up with the university. So I'm going to share that. And then I'm going to share some commentary that was made at the memorial services for Xana Kernodle. I do want to tell you that I did link the obituary for Xana Kernodle and also Ethan Chapin on the Hidden Horror Facebook page. So if you want to check out their obituaries, they're on the Hidden Horror Facebook page. There's a link that will take you to the information contained in their obituaries. I'm not going to go over their obituaries, but if you just want to learn some more about each victim, including Xana Kernodle, I'm going to try to have that linked so you can know some more about them in detail. So I have 2 videos. They're fairly brief. Combined, I'm sure they're less than 6 minutes. We're going to start with the scholarship video first, and then we will go to the memories about Xana Kernodle from her family and some of her close friends. Okay, so okay, so I want to share my screen now, and we'll go to the first video. So again, Xana Kernodle's family, they established a $10,000 scholarship for her at the University of Idaho. They are accepting contributions if you would like to donate towards that scholarship. You can. The details will come up in this video. So this video is provided by KTVB. It's titled Xana Kernodle's Family Establishes Memorial Endowment in Her Honor. Okay, so it's 32 seconds long.
And turning now to the tragedy in Moscow, the family of one of the stabbing victims, Xana Kernodle, started a memorial scholarship fund at the University of Idaho in her name. The family will also be matching up to $10,000 in donations, and they say this move is to honor her memory and keep her legacy at U of I alive. Now, here's a look at the information about the scholarship. Donations can be made over the phone.
Okay, I was trying to stop the word, so I'm going to start it over. My apologies. We'll start it about here. Okay, my apologies.
Alive. Now, here's a look at the information about the scholarship. Donations can be made over the phone or checks can be mailed to the University of Idaho Foundation. The information can also be found on our website at ktvb.com.
Okay, so again, if you're interested in donating, they have created a scholarship in memory and really in honor of Xana Kernodle, student at U of I who just tragically passed away too early, a gymnast, someone that was young, that was vibrant, excuse me, and they want to honor her by offering this scholarship at the university. So please donate if you feel, you want to do that. Now I'm going to turn my attention lastly to this video. These are going to be some brief comments about Xana, some positive memories. So let me share my screen one last time, and we'll listen to some of these memories of Mrs. Kernodle. This video is provided by King 5 Seattle. It's titled Remembering Idaho Murder Victim Who Was Xana Kernodle. This is 2 minutes long. Wait, I want to take the CC off. Okay.
A loving sister.
Xana was such a light in my life and so many others. She was the person I could relate to the most, and she knew and understood me more than anyone.
A wise daughter.
She taught me a lot of stuff. She taught me how to be a dad.
Xana Kernodle's sister Jasmine remembers her as someone who can lift up a room.
She was so positive and lighthearted and understood the gift of life more than anyone I know.
Xana was originally from Avondale, Arizona. Her family later moved to Post Falls, Idaho. She played volleyball, soccer, and track at Post Falls High School. Xana went on to attend the University of Idaho. She pledged the Pi Beta Phi sorority and was majoring in marketing. According to an obituary in the Bonner County Daily Bee, Xana loved listening to electronic dance music and going on family trips with her sister and father.
She was my baby sister, but she was so much wiser and experienced so much more in life than I ever have. She never let an opportunity pass her by and enjoyed all the moments she had.
At the University of Idaho, Xana lived in a rental house with 5 other women. One of her roommates, Madison Mogan, was also her co-worker at the Mad Greek restaurant.
I know she loved living in her house in Moscow with her friends. I would hear so many stories about her and her roommates, and it made me so happy to know she had such great friendships.
She was dating Ethan Chapin, her first boyfriend.
They were always so happy in the way she something to do before. She truly loved him so much, and I know he had so much love for her. They had something so special, and everyone around them knew.
And Xana's long has left those around
Whew. My apologies, I'm choking up again. Find another picture of her. You know, you never want to overlook the victims. You know, you want to be responsible about having these platforms and making judgments and comments on other people's lives. I know that all of the victims' families, they're doing the best that they can. So please don't be harsh to anyone. You know, these murders, they really touched the hearts of the world. It was devastating. It was shocking. It was tragic. And it was senseless. You know, we fast forward 2, almost 3 years, and we have nothing but loss. No one has won. It's a lot of grief, a lot of pain. And this justice that we seek, that we were seeking, it's an empty feeling. It's not satisfying. And that could be because we don't have a lot of the answers. We don't have a lot of details, a lot of specifics. And I just keep reminding myself of my responsibility. I want to be respectful. I want to honor the victims. And there is a balance. You know, there is an appropriate time for certain comments. But in this video, I just want to remember Xana. And I pray for her family, pray for all the victims and their families, and for healing. You know, everybody's fighting to establish that foundation of peace, to be able to get up every day and go about all of the responsibilities and commitments. And we can't lose the focus that 4 young people, their lives were taken very tragically. I don't have the answers. I do not have the truth. But I pray that it gets revealed one day. And in the meantime, between time, we want to continue to give light to the victims. And if we can support their families, and we can uphold and honor them for the people that they were, just beacons of light, fun, joy, youth. No, that's what we want to do. So I hope that you understand, and we can all be better people using good judgment. So I want to thank you so much for spending this time with me. I really, really appreciate it. I want you to stay safe, stay smart, stay savvy, be well, all my friends. Bye, everybody.